Ancient traditions speak of a state of profound awareness, a space where consciousness can witness the transition between worlds. From these timeless insights comes a clear and detailed understanding of the soul's first moments after physical life concludes. This account, drawn not from one person, but from a stream of universal wisdom, might offer you a transformative perspective on your own path. Before we explore these profound insights, consider joining our community by subscribing. The journey into understanding consciousness, life, and your own path is one we take together. Have you ever quietly wondered what truly unfolds in the moment after your final breath? The collected wisdom of generations offers one of the most detailed and clarifying pictures of those first vital moments of transition, and the insights shared may stir something deep within you. In the moments ahead, I will share 3 transformative insights from this deep well of knowledge. First, the profound moment of recognition your consciousness undergoes. Second, the fundamental choice you will face, which shapes the nature of your journey onward. And third, the beautiful connection to your current existence that many overlook. What makes these teachings so powerful is that they do not come from abstract theory. They flow from countless accounts of deep contemplation and direct inner knowing. Some of the most clear guidance comes from teachings that describe a soul's first moments in this new state of being. According to this stream of ancient wisdom, the very first experience as your consciousness separates from its physical form is a great expansion of awareness. A deep insight explains how a being, newly departed from its earthly life, experiences an immediate flowering of consciousness. It is described as seeing the vast, open sky for the first time after spending an entire existence believing a small room was all there was. But there is something even more remarkable about these first 60 seconds. These traditions teach that your consciousness does not simply wander into an unknown space. Instead, something extraordinary takes place. In those initial, potent moments, your consciousness encounters what can be described as a reflection of its entire journey. This is not a fanciful story. It is a fundamental process, a law of consciousness. You literally experience the tapestry of your entire life in an instant, but in a way that is far more profound than simple memory. Here is where the understanding becomes deeply moving. These traditions teach that during this rapid life reflection, you don't just observe what you did. You directly feel the ripple effects of your actions from the perspective of every single person you encountered. Every gentle word you offered, every moment of patience you shared, every wave of love or fear you sent out. Your consciousness feels it all from both sides of the exchange. Consider the perspective of a leader of a community. In his transition, his consciousness might spend those first moments feeling his entire life through the hearts of those he led, his family, and even those he met in passing. But this understanding leads to a vital point that defines your entire ongoing journey. What unfolds next in these initial moments depends entirely on something we often neglect during our lifetime. Wisdom teaches that after this reflection, your consciousness faces a pivotal choice, a point of self-realization. This is not a judgment from an outside source. It is your own awareness, seeing with perfect clarity its own level of inner development and what it requires to continue its growth. And what is documented to happen next is truly illuminating. Your consciousness, now fully awake to its patterns and progress, is able to choose the next chapter of its journey. And here is a detail that often brings great comfort. Some souls, out of deep love, choose to remain near the earthly realm to offer a supportive presence to loved ones. Others progress onward to different states of learning and being. Consider a parent whose love is so powerful that her consciousness chooses to remain as a gentle, guiding energy for her children through their challenges. Her first 60 seconds would include not just a review of her past, but an immediate and compassionate understanding of her family's needs, leading to a choice to serve. Yet, there is a deeper layer that ancient wisdom reveals about these first moments. The quality of your experience in those first 60 seconds is directly shaped by the inner work you do during this life. Countless teachings show that a consciousness that cultivated inner stillness through meditation, service, and presence experiences a gentle and flowing transition. In contrast, a consciousness that was completely attached to the material world may face a period of confusion and disorientation. There are many accounts of individuals who practice daily inner stillness. These teachings describe their transition as being like a peaceful river merging with the great ocean. Their consciousness immediately recognizes its true nature and moves forward with clarity and purpose. This is where these profound teachings become a powerful guide for you right now. The inner practices you cultivate today directly shape the quality of your transition in those crucial first moments. These traditions reveal that souls who regularly connected with the source of life through inner stillness and contemplation experience immediate recognition and peace. Those who served others from a place of genuine care find themselves supported by a compassionate presence during their transition. But those who lived caught in loops of fear or grasping at a purely material existence may find themselves in a state of confusion. There are timeless stories of individuals who spent years preparing their inner world. When their time for transition came, their journey was observed by others to be so peaceful and clear that their consciousness was able to impart a sense of reassurance to their grieving family. Now, consider a truly profound insight about your soul's capacity in those first moments. These teachings explain that your consciousness retains all of its memories and unique qualities, but now with a vastly expanded awareness that understands the purpose behind every experience. And this opens a perspective that can change how you live. If your awareness carries forward all that you have become, and if those first 60 seconds set the tone for your ongoing journey, what are you cultivating right now to prepare for this natural transition? The most peaceful transitions belong to those who learn to release their grip on material things, while still appreciating the beauty of their earthly journey. They had cultivated a sense of spiritual freedom, not by rejecting life, but by understanding its flowing, temporary nature and the eternal reality of their consciousness. Here is how this wisdom becomes incredibly practical in your daily life. It teaches that every choice you make, every thought you nurture, every action you take is laying the foundation that will determine your experience in those pivotal first moments. One notable story tells of a man of science who was initially doubtful of these spiritual ideas. After a personal event that brought him to the threshold of life and death, he sought out a wise teacher. The wisdom he received about his brief journey into the beyond perfectly mirrored his own experience, including deep truths he had told no one. His consciousness had experienced those first moments as a brilliant awakening, where all his worldly knowledge found its place within a larger, meaningful pattern. His years of dedicated work had created a path of light that guided his soul's journey, and there is something even more beautiful about what happens to your consciousness in those initial 60 seconds. Ancient wisdom shares that you do not lose your uniqueness or personality. Instead, you gain a universal perspective while holding on to everything that makes you, you. A well-known teaching describes how a departed soul kept its sense of humor, its deep love for its family, and its passions, but now understood how all these traits were part of its soul's eternal growth. You do not become someone else. You become a more complete version of who you have always been. This has a profound meaning for how you live right now. If your essence and awareness continue, then every part of who you are becoming in this life has eternal significance. Your kindness, your wisdom, your capacity for love, all of this continues and expands. The traditions consistently show that souls who lived consciously and with an open heart experienced those first 60 seconds as a joyful return. They recognized the spiritual realm as their true home and saw their earthly life as a precious lesson that prepared them for greater service. What gives these teachings even more weight is that many who have lived by this wisdom report experiences throughout their lives that align perfectly with this understanding of the soul's journey. Spiritual communities worldwide have kept accounts where these insights have proven to be a true and reliable guide. A particularly touching account tells of a young mother facing a serious illness. Wisdom was shared with her that her transition would be peaceful because of her deep love for her children and her inner spiritual practice. When she passed months later, those with her described her final moments as being filled with a sense of peace and joyful recognition, exactly as the wisdom tradition had suggested. Now, here is the most transformative part of what this wisdom reveals about those first 60 seconds. Your soul's journey is not only about your individual path. These teachings explain that souls who transition with awareness immediately become part of a great work of compassion, helping other souls both on earth and in other realms of being. This means your inner development during this life is not just for you. It is a preparation to serve in ways you might not yet imagine. The love you cultivate, the wisdom you gain, the inner peace you nurture, all of this becomes part of your capacity to help others on their eternal journey. These teachings hold that souls who lived lives of service and inner awareness often choose to become gentle guides for those still in the physical world. That grandparent who always seemed to know just what you needed to hear. That friend who seemed to have a sixth sense for when you were struggling. According to this ancient wisdom, these may be souls who chose to use their journey beyond to continue serving. But this raises a profound question about your relationships and your purpose. If consciousness continues and souls can choose to help those still living, how might this change how you see the guidance and quiet synchronicities in your own life? Timeless teachings explain how souls who have transitioned peacefully often work to create invitations to grace for their loved ones on earth. They do not interfere with our free will, but they can help arrange circumstances that support our spiritual growth and awakening. One historical account tells of a man whose departed father had lived by these principles. After his father's transition, the son started experiencing a series of meaningful coincidences that led him to discover the same spiritual path which transformed his life. Deep inner guidance later revealed that his father's loving presence was indeed helping to open these doors for his son's awakening. Here is what this means for your life at this very moment. According to this wisdom, you are surrounded by loving, spiritual assistance from souls who have made their transition consciously. Those moments of sudden inspiration, those clear insights that arise from nowhere, those perfectly timed events that feel too significant to be random. These could be signs of compassionate souls who experience their first 60 seconds after death as an awakening to their ability to serve from other realms. But the most powerful aspect of these teachings about the end of life is what they teach us about living. If those first 60 seconds are shaped by your spiritual preparation now, then every day is a precious opportunity to create a more conscious and peaceful transition. The wise have always taught that souls with the most beautiful transitions were those who learn to live with an attitude of spiritual grace. They moved through each day understanding that they were eternal beings having a temporary human experience. And this perspective filled their lives with deep meaning. It's said that a soul who lived with this awareness experienced those first moments as a gentle waking from a dream into a reality more vivid and true. There was no fear, only gratitude for the journey taken and the expanded awareness that followed. This is the gift these teachings offer you right now. You do not have to wait for the end of life to begin experiencing expanded awareness. The inner practices that prepare your soul for a conscious transition also enrich your experience of joy and presence in this life. The teachings state that souls who practice stillness and meditation found that this habit had created pathways of light that guided their journey onward. Contemplation and quiet prayer had deepened their connection to universal guidance. Service to others had built an inner strength that carried them through any challenge. But here is the most profound discovery from these thousands of years of wisdom. Those first 60 seconds after physical life are not an ending. They are a commencement. A moment when your soul celebrates all it has learned and looks toward ever greater opportunities for growth, understanding, and service. One final story perfectly illuminates this truth. A wise elder, who had lived his entire life in accordance with these principles, was approaching his final days. His community asked what they might expect. The wisdom shared was that this soul's transition would be like that of a student who has completed their training with excellence and is eager to begin the next level of learning. When the elder passed peacefully weeks later, his last words were said to be about the brilliant light he was seeing and the loving guides who were there to welcome him. His experience was a perfect reflection of what these teachings describe for those who approach their transition with inner preparation and conscious awareness. This brings us to the most vital question of all. Now that you have heard this ancient wisdom about those crucial first 60 seconds, how will you use this understanding to live more consciously? Remember, every moment of kindness you share, every silent prayer from your heart, every act of selfless service, every step you take towards inner peace is preparing your soul for the most important transition it will ever make. You are not just living for this moment. You are building the very foundation of your eternal journey. If this perspective has opened your heart to the incredible journey that awaits, please share this with others who may need to hear this message. Like this video to help it reach more people who are seeking this truth. And be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because there is so much more to discover about the path of consciousness and the eternal journey of the soul. Your greatest adventure is still ahead, and now you know how to prepare for it. Those first 60 seconds can be the most beautiful moment of your existence, and it all begins with the choices you make right now.